All right, so today we're diving into some really serious stuff surrounding Sean P. Diddy Combs.
Yeah.
There are some accusations against him that
Mm.
he's vehemently denying.
Oh,
And these are not, your average celebrity gossip.
right.
This is about like really serious claims of sex trafficking and racketeering.
Absolutely. And you're right to point out that these are really serious charges.
Yeah.
These aren't just like rumors. We're talking about multiple lawsuits
Right.
with really serious potential consequences.
Yeah, and we really want to be sure that, our listeners are getting a clear picture of what exactly is going on here.
Definitely.
So I've got four major lawsuits to kind of unpack today,
Okay.
each with their own set of, disturbing details.
Yeah.
So let's start with Cassie Ventura.
Okay. So Cassie Ventura's lawsuit is really where I think a lot of this started to come to light.
Right.
And, this is Diddy's former partner,
Yes.
and it was settled out of court.
Right.
But her lawsuit really kind of started to pull the curtain back on these allegations.
Yeah, and she alleged some really harrowing things, including being pressured to participate in these gatherings that she called freak-off events.
Right. And while, we don't know all the details because of the settlement,
Right.
the allegations themselves are really disturbing.
Yeah.
Especially, those of coercion.
Yeah.
It just really paints a disturbing picture.
Yeah, it does.
Mm.
And then you've got Adria English's lawsuit.
Right.
And her accusations against Combs go even further than Ventura's.
Yeah. She directly accuses him of sex trafficking and grooming.
Mm.
And I think it's important that we define those terms because they're
Yes.
thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
So sex trafficking, that is when someone uses force or fraud or coercion to make another person engage in commercial sex acts.
Okay.
And, these accusations are really, really significant here.
Yeah.
Because it points to potentially a larger issue within the music industry as a whole.
Yeah, it's almost like this dark undercurrent to the glitz and glamour
Yeah.
that we, think about when we think about the music scene.
Yeah, for sure. And then we have Derek Lee Cardello-Smith.
Oh, yeah.
His lawsuit resulted in a $100 million default judgment against Combs.
I was going to say that's 100.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And just so everyone understands the default judgment, that means that the defendant, which in this case is Combs,
Right.
didn't respond to the lawsuit or go to court.
Wow.
So while that doesn't automatically mean that he's guilty, it definitely speaks to how serious these allegations are.
Yeah, $100 million judgment is definitely nothing to scoff at.
No, it's not. And then we have Dawn Richard.
Right, Dawn Richard.
She was a member of Diddy's group, Dandy Kane.
Yes.
And her lawsuit alleges abuse.
Right.
And she also says she saw him behaving similarly with other women at parties, even underage girls.
And that's kind of what makes this, well, that's what's really concerning about it, is that it suggests there's a pattern.
Exactly. And, especially given the power dynamics here.
Oh, absolutely.
This is a man who, for decades, has had a huge amount of influence in the music industry.
Power like that can be intoxicating.
Right.
It can even make people afraid to come forward.
Of course.
If they know something's wrong.
Absolutely.
You know what this reminds me of is those Eminem lyrics in Fuel.
Oh, yeah?
Where he seems to call out Diddy about these sexual assault allegations.
It's pretty eerie.
It really is. It's like this chilling foreshadowing.
Yeah. And especially when you consider the timing of it all.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what else has been going on behind the scenes all these years.
Right. And who else might have known about it?
Exactly. You know what's really interesting to me about all this is the silence.
Yeah.
From some really big names in Diddy's circle.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, where are all Diddy's famous friends in all this?
Yeah, where are they? What are they doing? Why aren't they saying anything?
Like, what does their silence say about Hollywood?
Yeah, and, it's especially interesting when you think about someone like Jay-Z. I mean, him and Diddy go way back.
Right.
Personally and professionally.
Totally.
You would think that a close friend would be one of the first people.
Right, to say something.
Yeah, to speak out. Either in support or to condemn, whatever the case may be.
Exactly. And especially with Jay-Z's influence.
Yeah.
He's not just some random celebrity.
No,
he's a mogul.
Huge.
He's got the power to change the narrative here.
Yeah, it makes you think about what's going on behind the scenes with these relationships.
Hi.
Is there some kind of loyalty thing?
Right.
Or are they protecting their business interests or their own image?
It's complicated for sure.
It really is.
And then you've got someone like 50 Cent.
Right.
Who seems to be taking a very different approach.
Yeah, he's straight up taking jabs at Diddy on social media, no less.
Yeah, he's like almost relishing in his downfall.
it's kind of messed up.
Right, yeah.
But it really shows how competitive the music industry is.
Yeah.
Some people choose silence, and then some people see an opportunity.
Totally.
It just reminds you that these friendships and alliances, they can be really fragile.
Yeah.
Especially in a cutthroat world like the music biz.
And it's not even just the older generation.
Right.
What about, like, Justin Bieber?
Oh, yeah. True. He was mentored by Diddy.
Early in his career, and he was just a kid.
Or teenager.
Spending all this time with Diddy.
And while there's no evidence of anything toward Bieber,
right,
it does make you think, what did he see during those years?
Did he witness anything?
Exactly. And then there's Usher.
Oh, right. Usher.
He lived with Diddy as a teenager.
He did.
Yeah. And he's alluded to seeing some things.
Really?
Yeah, he even said he wouldn't let his own kids live with Combs.
Wow. That's
pretty telling.
Yeah.
Even without specifics.
For sure.
It sounds like he was uncomfortable.
Yeah, and then there's J-Lo.
Right. Jennifer Lopez.
They had a very public relationship.
They did.
And she's confirmed that he cheated on her.
Right. But she stayed quiet about these new allegations.
It's a tough spot.
It is. You know, for women in the industry,
yeah,
speaking out against a powerful man can be really risky.
Totally.
Especially when there are allegations like this.
Oh, absolutely.
It can be career suicide.
Yeah.
Sometimes silence is the only option, even if it feels wrong.
Yeah, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly.
And we can't forget about Ashton Kutcher.
Oh.
He's made some pretty suggestive comments about Diddy's parties.
He has, hasn't he?
He even said he saw things he shouldn't have.
It's kind of ironic because now he's dealing with his own controversies.
Oh, right. With Danny Masterson?
Defending him.
Who was just convicted.
It's like a domino effect.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
One case just shines a light on another.
Totally. And it reveals this pattern of behavior that can't be ignored.
And what about Kid Cudi?
Oh, yeah.
He was involved with Cassie Ventura.
He was. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and his car was set on fire.
Oh, wow.
Some people think it was retaliation from Diddy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, well, it's just speculation.
Okay.
But it just adds to this whole narrative of intimidation.
Wow, that's crazy.
It makes you think how many other people were aware of Diddy's alleged behavior and chose to stay quiet.
And why?
Were they protecting themselves?
Oh, yeah.
Or were they just afraid of Diddy?
This whole thing with Diddy really makes you think, like,
yeah,
what is the role of celebrities in all this?
Right.
Should they be the ones speaking out against this kind of behavior?
I mean,
even when it's someone they know?
It's a tough one, right?
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, they're entertainers.
Right.
They're not necessarily, you know, the moral compass of society.
Yeah.
We can't expect them to be spokespeople for every cause.
Right. They're human beings at the end of the day.
Exactly.
But they do have a huge platform.
That's true, they do.
And their words reach millions of people.
Especially younger generations who see them as role models.
So then doesn't that come with a certain level of responsibility?
It does. And, you know, when you stay silent on these issues, especially something as serious as this, it's deafening.
It really is.
You know, it almost comes off as you're condoning the behavior.
So how do we balance holding celebrities accountable with the fact that they're not perfect?
Right. And that it could be risky for them to speak out.
Especially against someone as powerful as Diddy.
Exactly. You know, it's a really fine line.
Yeah.
But, you know, for me, it's not about them being perfect.
Right.
It's about using their platforms thoughtfully.
Okay.
Speaking up when they can, amplifying the voices of survivors.
Yeah.
And educating their fans.
Right. Because this isn't just about Hollywood, is it?
No, not at all.
This is about a much bigger cultural issue.
Exactly. The allegations, the silence, the power imbalances. This is about society.
Yeah. We all have a part in addressing this.
We do.
Well, we are unfortunately out of time for today, but we covered a lot.
We did.
And it leaves us with a lot to think about.
It does.
What do you think? Is this a turning point for Hollywood?
I hope so.
Will we see real accountability? Or will this just be another scandal that fades away?
It's hard to say.
It is.
But I think one thing's for sure.
Yeah.
This has started a conversation.
Right. And like you said before, that's so important. It's making us all think about power and influence and, you know, responsibility.
And hopefully that will lead to real change.
Hopefully.
In Hollywood and beyond.
Well, that is it for this deep dive. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And remember to check out our next episode where we'll continue to unpack more of these important topics.